Guys, well, the dummies I dated, they fronted so much, but he was really transparent early. When we went to Hawaii and we were there with his son, I just had this sense of family. He was so good with his son. He was such a good dad, and his son just adored him. And I was like, I could do this. I could have a family, and I would like it to be with him.
Well, just saying. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome you all out to a musical extravaganza called the Night and Day Project. Please save your applause to me. Do it because I love living. You don't hear me though.
So Taj, what was that moment where you said, I want to be with this person forever?
I think when I turned 30, well, I think literally it was instantly because we just clicked. Once we got on the phone, everything just literally fell into place, and I felt like, why did I wait so long? I should have kicked that other dude to the side the minute I saw him, but I had no idea. But he was just everything. And I think we were in Hawaii. We were at a restaurant, and we were just sitting there talking, and he said something to me about his family, and I was thinking, wow, he's talking about his family. It's kind of different because nobody usually, at that point, I hadn't met anyone who so early opened up like that. Guys, well, the dummies I dated, they fronted so much, and it seemed like you have to peel all these onion layers away to get to know a person, but he was really transparent early. So with that, it kind of made me trust him a lot easier and want to be around him a lot more. So I think when we went to Hawaii and we were there with his son, I just had this sense of family. And he was so good with his son. He was such a good dad, and his son just adored him. And I was like, I could do this. I could have a family, and I would like it to be with him.
Aww. So does that mean you're gonna have another little girl sometime?
Oh.
Wait.
Hey, I would love a little girl, but she shut it down.
Oh, hell
She's
yeah.
not having it no more.
No. I'm done. My son took me through hell. I ain't doing that no more.
So on that, I do want to switch to a more serious clip. With our show, we do try to tackle much more than the happy stuff, right? Because it's getting through the difficult things that even get us to a point where we can have happy, healthy lives and marriages, right? So we actually this season did an episode called Life After Baby. Talking about when people have kids and how that changes your relationship, just to show a little snippet of how your life can change when you have a baby.
I definitely knew that something was wrong. I think I noticed it initially that I was going through some kind of depression. I definitely knew I was depressed because my mom passed away when I was 14. I had no idea what I was doing. I had a doula who helped me prepare for the baby, but I had no family here in Tennessee. So there was no one here to really get me ready. I thought that you had to clean him constantly. So I bathed him at least 2 to 3 times a day. I washed him so much, I dried out his skin. So he was cranky. I didn't realize that. So while he's crying, I'm crying. I'm like, I can't get him to shut up. He doesn't like me. When he slept, I could not sleep. So I'm up 24 hours a day, and this baby is just screaming and hollering. I'm already emotional. My hormones are all over the place. I couldn't get a grip on it. He was not home. So I'm sitting there just, my emotions are just going all over the place. It got to the point where I didn't know what to do. I sat down at the computer and I typed an email to my sister, and I was telling her, I was like, my baby don't like me, and I don't like him.
Mm-hmm.
So when I explained that to my sister, she immediately got on a plane and she came down and she's like, go to sleep, go to sleep.
Eddie, how did you support Taj with that moment?
Honestly, I didn't know. I didn't recognize it. You talk about, adversity and transition and change and being challenged off the rip. We were married for not even a year. And we had our son, we were married for a year. Yeah, a year, right? Married for a year. But I just left the NFL, I just retired, and I couldn't recognize it. I didn't know. I'm thinking that she's just tripping. Man, chill out. What's your problem? This pat him on the back, just to get him to burp or whatever you have to do. I mean, I was trying to understand, but I just didn't know, and I couldn't recognize it. It was just a very difficult time for her and me. And it wasn't until, I guess, 4 or 5 years later, I was able to really see what she was going through, because it was real. I mean, she talked about it, postpartum depression, and the fact that she didn't like my son at one point in time. It was very difficult for her. She was frustrated a lot. She's a Taurus. I mean, and she's from Brooklyn, and she's real feisty. So I thought it was just her personality, honestly, but it was something a lot deeper than that. And I wish I would have recognized it to be more supportive for her at that particular time.
And Taj, how did you get out of the depression ultimately?
My sister, she literally was in Tennessee 2 days later. She was down there. She took the baby. If you need medication, I suggest you do whatever you have to do to get through that. But literally, I was just exhausted. And after I was able to get some sleep, it was like the clouds opened up and the sun came through. It was just, and then she could comfort him, so he wasn't crying as much. He wasn't as cranky. She lotioned him for one, because I literally dried out his skin. It was just I was able to get a grip on it, and I think once he calmed down and he started to latch to me, it made it feel better. And I literally came out of it on my own. Now I can't live without his butt. No. That's my boo.
I'm curious, both of you all have jobs where you're constantly on the road. So how do you guys balance being a parent and also having this demanding careers?
We tag team. We literally tag team in the airport. I remember once he was landing, I was going. And so we literally high-fived. I went to my plane, he went to the car. And my son, he is just so used to this now. Like, he grew up with us traveling. He doesn't even care. He's just like, as long as you bring me something back, we good.
Yeah, what I try to do, I try to make my priority my family first. That's so important for me. Like, I try to create times where it's date night, or with my sons, it's best buddy brunch on Sundays. And we try to go and just put the phones on the table for 10 minutes. And
just 10 minutes.
Just 10 minutes, because the millennials, and we get French toast, watch the games, whatever that is, and we just talk. So I try to create those moments with my family as much as I can, because at the end of the day, that's all you got. So I've learned to do that really over the last 5 years, because I was just all over the place, and I didn't want to waste these years. Looking back, I spent more time chasing my dreams instead of focusing on my family and doing it with the people that truly matter to me. What in life is easy? What in life is easy? If you're pursuing any goal, whatever that may be, it's not going to be easy. And when you say you're going to cut off black men, you're cutting off all the possibilities of what could be.